everyone, welcome back to Swiss Home Garden. I'm Chitra. In this video, I will be showing you how to bake spelt pizza from scratch. First, we will be milling the spelt grains, making the pizza dough, and then we will also be doing the topping and the pizza sauce. So all of this will be done in a step-by-step process, and this is pretty easy to follow. We will be baking this in a pizza stone, and I have a special function in my oven for a pizza program. Let's get started on making this pizza.
Let's start grinding the grains. In these two bowls I have spelt grains. In the bigger one is 300 grams of spelt grain, which I will grind to a finer setting in my grain mill, and the other one will be ground to a coarser setting, and that is 200 grams of spelt grains. To this we will be adding 10 grams of Himalaya salt. This is roughly about 2% of the grains, and a tablespoon of brown muscovado sugar to 15 grams of fresh yeast and a tablespoon of oil. I'm using high oleic sunflower oil, which is good for baking. You can also use olive oil if you want. And water as needed for mixing the dough. First, add the sugar to the yeast and mix it with a little water and set it aside. In the meantime, when you're grinding the grains, this yeast mixture will start to bubble and you can mix it into the dough. For tomato sauce, I have over here about 450 grams of tomato puree. This is from the canning which I did last year. To that, I will be adding a pinch of asafoetida, 2 pods of garlic, a teaspoon of Himalaya salt, and roughly about a teaspoon or so of oregano, thyme and dried basil. You can also add fresh basil, olive oil for making the sauce. For the topping, I will be making 3 different toppings to the pizza because each one in the family has a different taste over here. My daughter doesn't like any vegetable. She just likes olives and mozzarella cheese and tomato paste. I personally like also some ananas pieces on my pizza topping. My husband just likes the salty stuff. So these are the vegetables I'll be using. 2 different bell peppers, 1 aubergine, a little bit of ananas, and again olives. And there I have 3 small blocks of mozzarella cheese. This is roughly about 450 grams of mozzarella cheese. First, let's grind the grains with the 2 different settings, the finer and the coarser. After grinding, we will be making the pizza dough. In the meantime, the yeast has also started bubbling. Mix all the dry ingredients into a big mixing bowl. Make sure that the salt is well underneath because we do not want the salt getting in contact with the yeast mixture. This will destroy the yeast and the pizza dough will not rise. Add the oil and add the mixed yeast together. Knead the dough to bring it to a pliable consistency. Make sure you do not add too much water because spelt is low on gluten, so be careful while adding water. If you are using strong white flour, it doesn't matter so much, the water will be absorbed. The texture of the finished dough should be roughly like this. It should be easily pliable. It should resemble your earlobe. Chop all the vegetables separately and set it aside. Heat a cast iron pan on medium heat, add a little bit of oil and fry each of the vegetables separately just until they are crisp but kind of little bit cooked because you will be baking them again with the pizza topping. Word of caution, eggplants do tend to absorb a lot of oil. Chop also the olives into small rings and set it aside. Shred the mozzarella cheese and set it aside. Now let's make the tomato sauce. Into the cast iron pan, add a little bit of oil, and once the oil is hot, add in the asafoetida, crush the garlic and then the tomato puree into the pan. You can add a pinch of baking powder to this tomato puree because this will sweeten the sauce and remove the acidity. Boil down this tomato sauce till it attains a thick paste-like consistency, and then you can add all the dried herbs and grind the black pepper and add the salt and finish it off. I'm using a pizza stone for baking the pizza. and in the meantime the pizza dough has doubled in size. Heat your oven to the maximum temperature possible. Heat also the baking stone, or if you have a cast iron skillet, you can also heat that and use that instead. Since I'm not a professional, I will be rolling the pizza dough and then transferring it onto this wooden spatula so that I can easily transfer it to the hot stone in the baking oven. Roll the pizza dough evenly on a heavily floured surface because spelt is not a very glutinous flour. It's a little bit difficult to shape this. Use a rolling pin and get an even round shape. Poke the rolled dough with a fork. Spread the tomato sauce onto the rolled dough. The first pizza I'm making is pizza margherita. All you need for pizza margherita is chopped olives and mozzarella cheese. Bake this pizza for about 10 minutes until it has slightly browned and it is done. Let's assemble the remaining pizzas. Follow the same procedure. Roll the dough evenly and then add the tomato sauce after poking the dough slightly. Add the toppings as you wish. When you're adding the vegetables, make sure you bake this pizza a little bit longer. If you're adding ananas to your topping, make sure you squeeze the juice of the ananas before baking. Otherwise, this will result in a very soggy pizza.
I hope you enjoyed this video and thank you for watching. I will be leaving the full recipe in my blog, so kindly take a look at the blog post at swisshomegarden.com. If you're new to my channel, kindly subscribe. I post one new video every week on food from scratch, Swiss country living and our gardening experiences. Kindly hit that bell button to receive notifications for the latest videos I've uploaded. Until next time, bye bye.